Hi, I'm Mark and welcome to this week's Pickleball Warehouse vlog. Today, instead of presenting new product, we're going to discuss the topic of swing weight, as it is one of the more definitive qualities or performance of your paddle. Including this head 4-in-1 paddle diagnostic machine, there's quite a bit to cover on the topic of swing weight, so let's get to it. Officially, swing weight is the measurement of a paddle's resistance to swinging about an axis near the end of the handle. This is a dynamic measurement requiring movement, and the numbers are used to describe how much effort is required to get a paddle moving. Now, if this sounds a little technical and jargonish, I agree. This basically boils down to how heavy or how light a paddle feels while you're swinging it. Now, most of us here at Pickleball Warehouse feel that swing weight is a very important aspect of your paddle, as it's comprehensive. It takes into account your paddle's overall static weight, balance, and length. All of this influences swing weight, which is why we're doing this vlog today. And that brings us here to the Head 4-in-1 Paddle Diagnostic Center. This machine here makes the accurate measurement of your paddle's static weight, balance, twist weight, and of course swing weight very easy. In addition, this 4-in-1 machine is the primary tool we now use to measure all of your paddle's aspects. Now, let's get into it in terms of measurements. We have here 3 different paddles. I picked one that's a traditional, like basically a little under 16 inches and 8 inches across here. All these 3 paddles weigh the same, about 7.65 ounces, but due to their shape and different distributions of weight, they're all gonna show different numbers. So let's start. We get this thing clamped in here. The machine is very sensitive to the way you position it, etc. So we wanna make sure everything's lined up properly, and then we're basically just holding the paddle until we get the green light and let it go. This produces a number of 70.5 on the swing weight, which is a pretty typical measurement for a paddle of this weight and length. We'll just go ahead and stop this. And moving on to the next paddle, we have here a standard elongated shape, about 16.5, 7.5 across here. Again, the same weight of about 7.65 ounces. This is definitely gonna produce a different number based on the length alone. And let's see what it issues, 79.5. So it is definitely a higher swing weight paddle, basically based on the length of this paddle alone. And that is gonna give you a little more power. Obviously, a longer paddle is gonna give you more leverage. And last but not least, we picked out the paddle. It is the longest one we feature on our site currently at 17 inches and a span of 7 inches across the paddle face. This is definitely a very elongated paddle. And once again, let's just wait for the green light. And away we go. Producing a swing weight of 83.7. So the higher the swing weight, the more potential for power you have out of your paddle. At a certain point, you're going to sacrifice some maneuverability, but that's basically what you're getting. The higher the number of swing weight, the more power. The swing weight is measured around 10 centimeters from the base of the handle, which is the main reason why our numbers may differ from others. And how does this affect your paddle's performance? Well, energy return for one thing. I always like to describe it as either the ball is beating your paddle or the paddle is beating the ball. So if you're playing with somebody who's hitting with a lot of pace, spin, and depth, and your paddle is too light, it's gonna veer it off its swing path, or maybe even slow it down, and that's gonna create errant shots, to say the least. So having a proper swing weight would kind of get you close to what we refer to as having a Goldilocks paddle, light enough to swing over the period of time you want to play, but heavy enough to be stable against heavy hitters that are on the other side of the net. Going forward, Pickleball Warehouse will post the swing weight of most every paddle we feature on our site. In addition, if you're interested in learning anything more detail-oriented about the physics of pickleball paddles and the ever-growing list of paddle swing weights, be sure to head over to the university portion of the Pickleball Warehouse site. And that about wraps it up for today's vlog. Thanks again for tuning in. And if you'd like to learn anything more pickleball related, be sure to head over to pickleballwarehouse.com.